Thank you so much for this recognition. I'm profoundly indebted to you for recognizing us, and I'm proud that this is the second time we're up for this kind of award. Numerix has been pricing the most complex derivatives all the way back to the beginning of our creation in 1996. And over the last 20 years, Numerix has been able to transform itself into a fintech company focused on pricing and risk for the capital markets. So when you think about the number of pivots and the number of changes that we made to become this transformative company, it was all about strategy. And I believe that the recognition tonight really reinforces the steps that we've taken, the choices that we've made, the strategical imperatives that we put in forth, and the tactics that led behind the strategy to get us to where we are today. Now, when you think about what we've actually done, and you think about the fact that Numerix sits on this precipice today of the most profound changes that we've made in the capital markets banking arena for the foreseeable future, not only have we transformed ourselves, but we are a transformation agent for the banks. The fact is, regulations have stifled or damaging banks on a global basis. This means that banks are going to have to look at how they operate their bank into the future, and the choices are pretty simple. Change the bank or run the bank. Regardless of which path, there's so much risk that the result could be damage and bankruptcy. The best way to really help you to see what banks are feeling today, I meet with COOs so often, and the common thread that I hear is that we have so many different businesses, we have a piece of the pie that's pretty significant in some of these businesses, and they're profitable. But out of regulations, we know that we'll continue to own the pieces of the pie in those very important businesses, but they'll not be profitable. So we need to find a way to cut costs. And it isn't just about manpower, it's about technology, it's about getting to a safer place. And that really amplifies what's happening in the banking industry and where the banking industry is going for the future. The implications for banks based on regulations is profound. Regulations are so burdensome that if a bank embarks on a journey to transform itself and to make these changes and tries to meet the regulatory timeframes and a number of regulations, when it gets there, what they put in place may not work. And the cost to the bank for not being able to provide the right kind of reporting and information will profoundly impact the company and the banks from a cash perspective. So when we think about the most challenging of regulations, the one that's born in Europe is called FRTB. And this stands for the Fundamental Review of the Trading Book. And it calls for the complete replacement of the underlying risk systems within a bank. And what we've seen happen since the collapse of Lehman is that a new form of risk has really taken hold, and it's kind of a pricing risk scenario at the front office, and it needs to be done in real time. So when you look at how Numerix is a player in this, again, I said earlier, we sit at the precipice of a journey that's going to profoundly help to change the banking industry, but it'll do the same thing for us. And there's a couple of steps that we're taking. We have a complete platform because we're now a fintech company. The platform is called OneView. OneView is a visionary approach to this industry, and it plays to our pioneering aspects and attitude as a company. What that means is that we see that the lines between front, middle, and back office are absolutely blurring and will disappear within the next 5 years. At the front and the middle office, you have middle office risk with lots of legacy systems out there. Across the front office, you have many different trading platforms with its own kinds of risk linking into the middle office. And the problem is you could have different analytic platforms on each one of those different trading systems. They could be from the vendor that you bought the trading system from, or alternatively, it could be different pricing vendors like Numerix. So Numerix's role in this is that OneView is, simply put, front office risk brought together with market risk on a single platform consuming the same exact database. And we do this in real time. All of the vendors in the market can only offer a transactional-based system. And regulations at the front office call for a real-time system. Ours is real-time. So we've already started to transform many banks, like RB&Z in New Zealand, where we're putting in place for them a front office trading system, XVA for risk, middle office risk, market risk to share the same database, and other components. This is a huge win. Other banks will do this, but we have a different tactic as well. We can go in and start to transform the bank today, but most banks don't really know what they need to get to and how they're going to get there. And that's where FRTB comes in. With FRTB, they need to understand fundamentally what's the cost charges at each desk. How am I going to run this desk? Do I shut it down or do I continue to run it? And so here is the conundrum. You need to be able to figure out what's known in the industry as standard approach, SA, or IMA, internal model approach. And you need to be able to deal with this. No vendor in the world is able to address both of those needs today. And banks are scurrying to enter into relationships with companies like KPMG to put bodies to attack the problem. With Numerix, you don't have to do that. We can come in with a cloud-based FRTB solution built inside our OneView platform that we leave the system behind, and within 5 weeks we can have you up and running, shaving the cost of hardware from your budget and being able to give you the cost that you need, and you get the regulatory reports that are required as well. This is a game changer in the industry. We're the only company that's able to do this. And by the way, when we leave this platform behind, when they look to replace the middle office market risk systems and the front office trading systems, this system can do that, and at a lower price point than the maintenance fees they're paying today for those legacy platforms that they have. I'm happy to share with you the underlying technology that makes Numerix completely unique from any other vendor in the marketplace. First thing is, from a modeling perspective, we've vectorized our models, which means that we can provide higher throughput and speed than any other vendor in the industry. Simply put, when you think about GPU, which we can provide, you think about AAD, which we can provide, vectorization is the new frontier. We are the only company in the world vectorizing our models. And then for an FRTB solution, you need to be able to have that speed, because when you're going and looking at each of the desks, bringing the data into our system, trying to determine specifically what the results will be, what the metrics are, what the capital charges are, you'll want to run this report. With vectorization, we can run a report in 7 to 10 minutes. Any other vendor will take overnight to get that done. And that's a game changer, because if you don't like the results or you need to tweak some things, you can change it on the fly, run it again, and keep running it, and in one day you can have it fine-tuned to your needs. That's a game changer in the industry. That's inside our OneView platform. And the other thing is, we're leveraging a technology that was born inside of Goldman Sachs called SecDB. It's called dependency graphing. And this is the essence of what provides real-time performance, which no other vendor in the marketplace is able to claim they can do. All of the trading system vendors, all of the risk system vendors are offering transactional-based systems at best. Anyone that claims that they'll append a real-time front end to it is just not going to get even close to the kind of performance that we can deliver, because we've got vectorized models and we've got a real-time system, and we're able to do this in the speed of light. That's the fundamental difference between us and any other company in the marketplace.